Dum 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 dum
Space between, space between, space between. Space between.
Happy New Year! Ah!
Woohoo!
That's all you got?
Well, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't ready. I didn't get a warning.
Hi, everyone.
It is the new year, though.
This is the Space Between podcast, first one of 2018. We're talking about the space between life and art, passion and business, what's happening now, and what's happening next. I'm Pat Shand.
And I'm Amy Shand.
And we're alone today.
Yep.
We're alone today in our home as a married couple.
Well, we're not alone.
No, we're not alone. We have 5 cats. Mm-hmm. We have 5 entire cats. And
but we're the only humans in here today.
Only humans. Both Shannon and Ryan are right now, they're setting the ball up to drop, you know?
That's right.
They're setting up 2019's ball.
It's just the two of them that do it.
Just those two.
But anyway, we're here to talk about basically just general things about the year that just passed, some highlights that happened, and some things we look forward to in this year coming up.
We're probably not highlights because that was the whole last episode.
Well, I had a few things that I wanted to add.
Oh, shit, you do?
Just like, because remember last time when we were talking about resolutions and I was like, meow,
resolutions,
meow.
yes.
I just wanted to add a couple things.
Boom, get to it.
Just that I wanted to take time to write in my journal at least every other day, and I want to read more before bed.
Amy actually is an amazing journaler. When we were first
I like to do it.
together, every time she would write a journal entry about our love, she'd give it to me. I read it. I feel really good about myself.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened in a while, though.
Well, I used to have more time, I feel like, to write in my journal, and I would, like, glue things in there, like, scrapbook style, and it was, like, pretty cool. And I do it, like, not very often now because I work so much, but I want to, like, just take time to write in it at least, like, 10 minutes every other day just to, like, a quick excerpt.
Amy resolution 1 is write in her journal. I'll throw in a little resolution there.
Yeah.
This year, I've been losing weight.
Oh, that's right.
And I want to keep doing that. I have a goal set of my weight goals per month, every few months.
And you're kind of ahead of the game on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much on track.
On track?
Yeah, I'm on track right now. I'm hitting my goal for the new year right now. And now it's time to become a skinny boy.
Very good.
Any more resolutions for you?
I think that was it for the updates on the resolutions.
All right, well, I want to start talking about Atypical, right?
Oh my gosh.
We just finished watching the Netflix show Atypical.
It was so good.
I mean, we literally stopped watching the show and started recording this.
Yeah, we watched the last 2 episodes today. We usually watch like a couple episodes per sitting.
And I do want to say, just because we did do a whole Stranger Things episode, and that was a spoiler-heavy episode, but because this isn't going to be our Atypical episode, it's just going to be a general type episode. We're not going to be talking about spoilers.
Yeah, just a quick rating. I loved it. I cried a lot.
You did.
I laughed a lot.
I noticed you crying over there, yeah.
And just like, and it's not like a thing where you cry at like super heavy moments. It just like catches you off guard where you're just like so reminded of your own family sometimes. And you're just like, oh my God.
Talk about your favorite actor on the show, because he is one of mine as well.
Oh yeah, and I was so pleasantly surprised to see him on the show because I only see him on like quick clips online usually because I don't really watch like much TV, I guess. I don't know where he's been, but Michael Rapaport.
Yeah.
That's how you say his last name, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He's so good in this show. He's so likable, and he's my favorite character. I just love him.
He's great.
He plays the dad.
I mean, I watch a lot of TV too, and I know him. I mean, he's had some great movie roles, but I know him mostly from getting online and talking about rap or just kind of going in on Trump.
Yeah, he's funny, but in this show, he's funny too, but he's also... I don't know. He's so like sweet and just likable.
Yeah,
I just really like him.
He is a great actor. I mean, overall, I like the show a lot. I do have one critique, and this isn't a spoiler. It isn't, because I projected something onto the show that I think it's true. The show just doesn't know about it yet. There's one character, Casey, who is the main character's sister. And when we began watching the show, I don't know about for you, but for me, there wasn't even a question that Casey was gay. There wasn't even a question.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be a thing.
Right. And then there's this scene that sets it up that she's going to have this like cute little romance with who we thought was her love interest at the school, who was a girl who she defended from a bully. Mm-hmm. And then the girl comes to her house and introduces her brother. Mm-hmm. And we were just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And it was just so left field because, all right, do you remember, I'm not sure if our audience knows of the comedian Mae Martin, but she has this bit where she's talking about how one of her relatives might speak to her. Mm-hmm. And she goes, you walk gay, you talk gay, you dress gay, you're gay. That's Casey. I was very surprised. Like, I thought what was going to happen was that they were going to kind of do a little coming out story, you know? Mm-hmm. I thought that she would, even after she meets the boy, connect with him, talk to him.
And entertain the idea.
Yeah, and realize, oh, actually, this, maybe your sister instead, you know?
Right.
But that's not what happens. And I'm saying it isn't a spoiler because that wasn't even part of the plot.
Yeah.
There was a lot more to it than that, though, too, you know?
I know. We'll see how it goes. I know that season 2 is coming up, so.
It's true. Season 2, it is renewed for next year. And you know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminded me of Supernatural in that, and I know that this is a crazy comparison.
Yeah, I can't see. Yeah.
Well, no, watch. Supernatural is very well known for queer baiting. Oh. In that they tease relationships that fans might like, and they have a large gay audience, you know, that really supports the idea of Dean and Castiel as a couple. And the show constantly teases it. And I feel like Atypical would have to be tripping if they weren't aware that they are projecting a certain image for Casey.
Yeah.
And there was even this storyline in Supernatural, I believe season maybe 8, where Dean comes back from purgatory with this vampire, Benny. I was watching it because up until that point, I was like, all right, so Dean and Castiel were envisioned as friends, and the fandom created the fanfic, and then the show responded by putting in these little moments. To me, I couldn't see a different way to interpret Dean and Benny's relationship except a very emotional relationship with sexual tension. Like, I can't see another interpretation. I felt the show was purposely doing that. In Atypical, I feel like they had to be purposely doing something there. So I hope that they're going to build towards something down the line. Because while Casey's boyfriend, Evan, right? Evan,
yeah.
He's all right, right?
Yeah, he's cool. He doesn't have a lot of depth to him, I don't think. He's just, like, nice.
Right. And he's one of those characters that...
I said, what did I say when we were watching? He's low-key funny.
Yeah. He,
like,
because
just a dude.
He has these moments, right,
Yeah.
where he'll show that he's more than just, like, some douche, right?
And at some points, I was calling him the Steve from Stranger Things. In a way.
You were. And actually, I'm going to kind of break format here, because you mentioning Steve from Stranger Things makes me want to bring up a little question that we had here.
Oh.
We had a little question from our readers. Can I find it? Oh, I found the question. Okay. So, it isn't a question. It's feedback. Jackie Cooperman says, so I've been going back and listening to the other episodes of the podcast.
Thank you.
And it's hysterical how many times you guys are trying to think of something or someone's name or a Buffy specific or specific or a Buffy specific. That's hard to say. Buffy specific. And I'm sitting here yelling at my phone like I know the answer. I can fill in the blanks. That's awesome. Thank you. Also, so happy to see that someone else thinks Steve is too good for Nancy at this point. Thanks, Pat. Steve is too good for Nancy. But you know what? Who is Steve not too good for?
Yeah, he's like Captain America.
Yeah. Aw, Steve.
Gotta love him.
Let's just take a moment in this new year to celebrate Steve.
Yeah, he's great.
In all of his glory. He tried for Dustin. You know, it didn't pan out for Dustin and his hair at the dance.
Dustin.
Until it did. It kind of at the end did pan out for him.
That was such a sweet scene.
And I do love, just to throw a bone to Nancy, she is great in a different way, right? She It's interesting that both Steve and Nancy care for Dustin in that episode.
Yeah.
And they kind of take him under their...
They're like his adopted parents.
Yeah. They're his adoptive separated parents.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, Dustin doesn't actually have a dad at home. So Steve kind of gives him that role model sort of. He fills in that spot.
And you know who we didn't mention in our episode focused on Stranger Things? We didn't drop a bomb for Dustin's mom, everybody.
I love her.
Gotta love Dustin's mom.
She's such a cat lady.
Her love for the cat. Ugh.
That was so heartbreaking.
My heart breaks. My heart breaks.
Let's talk about how it's been snowing lately. And it's pissing me off.
Yeah, you've had a hard time.
It's hard because I don't know how to drive in the snow, so I have to... It's not... I like to hang out with you when you drive me places, but I feel bad having to, like, wake you up to drive me to work. You're the one that scrapes the car. It's so cold. And I can't move in all the layers. I feel like the little boy in Christmas Story that's walking like a penguin to the bus stop. Just waddling.
You
into
do look
work.
amazingly hilarious in your layers.
Pat calls me a Russian grandma because I have, like, this scarf that goes around my head.
It's
like
amazing.
Like a hood. And I don't even know how to dress, like, in the snow because it's so cold. And I don't even have shoes that won't get my feet wet outside yet. So today when we go out, I need to get shoes.
Yeah, check Instagram and follow me at PatchDan so you can see my videos and my story of Amy as a Russian grandma.
That's right.
She looks like if you pop her open, there's a small version of herself inside.
It's, yeah, like one of those dolls. That's the shape that I am, just like the round. But yeah, it's just been really cold. First snow was a couple weeks ago, and now it just snowed yesterday.
That was so Long Island of you.
What'd I say yesterday?
You said yesterday. You're converting.
I know. I've been here long enough.
Yeah.
What's it called? Assimilating?
You're assimilating, yes.
Yep.
I actually had to assimilate. When I moved to California for a while, I had to change the way that I pronounced the word water. When I would order a water, no one would know what the fuck I was saying. No one. And you would think that you'd be able to figure it out based on the way it sounds and the items available. But they were like, what?
Oh my gosh. One time when I first moved here at work, I was getting this lady's name for her drink. I still remember it was a venti iced caramel macchiato with whipped cream. I said, what's your name? And I wasn't thinking. And she said, Dawn. And I went to write it down. And I said, okay, Dawn. Right after. And I was like, oh my God. And then I started laughing at myself. And then I had to apologize.
That is amazing.
Yep.
What I want to talk about really quick is some news. And I probably should have started the podcast off with this. And I'm going to do so next time because I have to keep plugging this through the month. But I have a new comic series coming out this March from Black Mask Comics. I've been trying to get into Black Mask for a while, and this is my first series there.
Yeah, that was very exciting.
It's called Breathless. It is a series, it's a healthcare horror comic, and we kind of envision it as Buffy if Big Pharma was the villain. And it is about an asthmatic cryptozoologist named Scout Turner. She dissects monsters for a living, and she tries to she works for a company that tries to make medicine out of the undiscovered properties of monsters. You can find that from Black Mask Comics. It is in previews right now. And the way, if any of you are listening who don't know how to order comics, because the way that we run sales in this industry is so backwards, the reader has to pre-order the comic before they know if they like it, right? They have to select the title, tell their comics retailer, I want to pull Breathless from Black Mask Comics. The retailer will then order that book for that month, and then every month while that book is still going on, and ours is going to go for 4 issues, you go to your retailer. When 2 months before the book is out, say, I want Breathless number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And that is how you ensure that the comic is successful. Say the retailer doesn't know who wants the book. They'll order a certain amount of number 1, but before number 1 comes into the store, number 3 is in previews. They have to know whether they're going to order on 2 and 3 before anyone even buys number 1. Mm-hmm. All right, just to talk about... To talk a little bit about how I got this Black Mask gig. I think you'll remember the story.
I was just going to say, I remember when you texted me.
Yeah, it was New York Comic Con. It was 2016, and I got so prepared, right? Because always New York Comic Con has been the show that I went to that was always easiest to pitch to publishers.
Yeah, and why didn't I go? Was I working or something?
You were working that day, and then the next day you and I went together.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, all the gigs that I had gotten from shows, I had gotten at New York Comic Cons. So
Since the beginning of your career.
exactly. I mean, my very first gig ever, Angel at IDW Publishing, my dream gig, New York Comic Con. I met the guys at Zenoscope at New York Comic Con.
Yeah. And that lasted a while.
Yeah. And I mean, even I made my first connections with Avatar at New York Comic Con, and that wouldn't pay off until years later.
Yeah.
But now I work more for Avatar than anyone else, really. My plan was I printed out this package that had 4 different full pitches in it. And I felt so good about it. It was nice, professionally done, and a little booklet.
Like a little artist portfolio.
Exactly. And I went around, and one of the first places that I went to was Black Mask.
Did you go like in the order of the ones that you would want to work for the most?
Pretty much, yeah. And it was a matter of who I most wanted to work for and who looked available, you know? So I had met Matt Pizzolo, who runs Black Mask before, and we had conversed a bit. So I was at the booth this time, and I asked if he had time to hear my pitches. And
Dun, dun, dun.
he said yes, but it was clearly very busy there. You know, like Matt does panels and stuff, and he was running around, but he said that he could stop for a minute and hear me out. The moment I began to pitch, some guy right behind us,
Some guy.
right next to the booth, fucking blows chunks. He just vomits. Projectile.
What?
Yep. Do you remember
you
this?
serious?
Do you remember this?
No.
Yeah. This guy, I'm like,
What?
at the beginning of my first pitch, and he's like within...
What is his problem?
You'll
Did
find
he
out
have,
in a
like,
second.
Bad hot dog or something?
No, so much worse. He was within like grasp of me and Matt. So if he had fallen toward us, he could have like grabbed us.
My God.
But I didn't even get to like the elevator pitch of my first one when this guy barfs and falls on the floor. And Matt is there, Katie Rex is there. They all say like, "Oh, help this guy," and I'm like, "Fuck this guy," you know.
He ruined my pitch.
Yeah. So, but I go and get some help. We all go and try to help him. He was drunk.
Oh, that was my next guess, but I'm like, what time is it?
Oh no, it was afternoon. It was
my
like
God.
early afternoon. But they
That's
have.
not where you get trashed Comic-Con.
Oh no. I mean, they have like beer booths at
He
Comic-Con.
must have drank on the way there, though.
He had to have like had some flask action or
Yeah.
something pregame.
Some
you know?
flaction, you know?
Yeah, but yeah. So that was kind of a nightmare. And
Why don't I remember that?
I don't know. It was intense, but by the time it was done, I went back to Matt, and we were both like, we had just both gone through something, you know? So he really had no time
It was a
anymore.
bonding experience, though.
But I said to him, all right, I'm going to blaze through these. I had to admit, in hindsight, it was, and by hindsight, I mean, I fucking knew as it was happening. It was my worst pitch session ever.
You're so thrown off.
I was so thrown off. I was just, I was hurrying. I was stuttering through the whole shit.
Oh.
And yeah, I could tell that it didn't go well, mostly from the puke, you know?
Did you walk away just like with this feeling in your stomach, like, ugh?
I walked away and I was like, I'm going to leave now. I'm gonna go home.
You're like, I'm done with this.
I did stop a few more places, but overall, it was a bummer. I kind of thought, man, you know, I had my little pitch session and I blew it until, man, I guess about 3-4 months ago, Matt DMs me on Twitter and asked me if I have any books for him. And I pitched him some more stuff, some different stuff, just to like remove that filter of puke, you know? And he picked up Breathless. And I hope to keep doing some more stuff with Matt. Yeah.
Nice.
Black Mask has been great so far.
Awesome. Yo, I have a story about some DM shit.
Hit me.
This happened to me this morning while you were still sleeping, actually. I forgot
Oh,
to tell
shit.
you.
Okay.
All right. This is fresh news.
Let's
it's
hear
kind
it.
of embarrassing, but whatever. Fuck it.
Where's this going?
You know, there's a photographer. I won't say his name because this story.
Wait, say it to me and I'll bleep it out.
You know how to do that?
I think so, yeah. And if not, I'll bleep it out in a unprofessional way.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I shot with him when he was not, when he was like up and coming photographer. He didn't have many models. I shot with him back in my hometown, and we took some nice pictures, and we always kept in touch online. And now he has over 20,000 followers, and he's super popular, and he takes pictures, really nice professional pictures of professional models and stuff.
Okay.
So I messaged him, slid up in his DMs on Instagram and said, hey, I'm coming into town, whatever, in January, and I would love to get together, because he told me to do that, to hit him up.
Okay.
He responds, I don't think I can come down to San Diego, apparently because he's in LA now. And then I went to respond back, and he had blocked me.
What?
Yeah. He like went and looked at my pictures to see that I wasn't like an active model anymore, and was, I guess, annoyed that I had hit him up, thinking I was like much lower status than him, because he went and saw pictures of like rats and cats and stuff like that, and blocked my Instagram.
Wait, so he didn't unfriend you, he blocked you?
Yeah, he has the little lock there, no posts yet. It shows all his followers, like how many followers he has and everything, and his profile picture, like the classic someone blocked you screen.
Whoa.
Isn't that funny?
No, that
Like
I'm pissed off.
Yeah, like I'm too too amateur of a model to even be messaging him, so now he's gonna block me, so I can't like his pictures.
Wait, he has 20,000 followers?
And he just posted pictures of me less than a month ago.
20,000 he has.
Over.
How much over?
He posted 3 pictures of me like 3 weeks ago.
He sounds like a fucking sociopath.
Yeah.
Are you sure we get to bleep his name?
I don't know. It's just
Sounds like a fucking asshole.
Like, look, I'll go to it right
Oh
now.
yeah, show me this.
To make sure.
This sounds crazy.
I'm on my phone.
This sounds crazy.
Watch. So check. And when I go to my messages, it says Instagram user. Instagrammer.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
You don't think that maybe he was deleted? Well,
What if I'll just say, okay, thanks for your time, and see what happens. Failed to send.
hold on. I have
Pat's
to see
about
this.
to go get his phone
I have to see this.
to see if he's deleted
I have to
or
see
I am actually blocked.
If Amy was blocked for her.
He's so upset. I don't even, like, I was just like, but I don't care. Because I don't, like, model too much anymore. I just figured since I was around, I can still take a picture. Like,
How you spell his name?
Uh-huh.
He might have been deleted.
Okay, so then we just cut the whole thing. Just
No,
kidding.
no, I'm going to bleep his name if he was deleted.
I wonder if he was deleted.
I think he was deleted.
Okay, then.
Feel better?
Yeah, well, I guess because I didn't feel bad at first. I just thought it was a funny story.
I felt bad. There's no reason that some guy who has 20,000 followers
Yeah, right?
should block you for trying to shoot. Mm-hmm. You've shot with people who have much more followers than his bitch ass.
That's true. But yeah, I just thought it was funny because it was like 2 minutes later or something. I went to respond and it said failed to send. And then when I clicked, it said Instagrammer, which I had never seen
God
before.
damn.
So I was like, interesting.
Yeah, he was probably deleted.
Okay.
Or maybe he blocked us both.
I don't. Yeah, but
If you're so nothing to him that he would block you, would he know to block me? I don't think so, right?
no, I don't think so. Because we shot one time.
I'll just see if he blocked Chi-Chi.
That's true.
We're going to go...
We're about to get so hardcore.
We're
on
going
this.
to our cat's Instagram to try to see if the cat's blocked too. Nope, he isn't there. Fuck this guy. I mean, if he was deleted, unfuck this guy. but still.
Just a funny little story for you, you know.
Have you ever had a photographer beef before? And I know that we spoke about some creepy incidents, but have you ever had like outright beef or any blockage? I know that there was that one guy.
I'm trying to think. What was that?
Remember, there was this one guy who took pictures of Amy, and he would write like these long, very Jesus-y captions.
Oh my god.
Like fucking novelistic type shit. But it made no sense.
It's so funny. And then one time, just like this person who just kind of sucked took pictures of me, and then remember he edited them, so my skin looked like all red.
It
looked so gross, like worse than unedited. Like
it looked as if they took like orange and yellow pudding and just smeared it all over her face.
it was not chill.
It was horrible.
I'm like, what makes you think that looks artistic? Just, ugh. So anyway, I don't know. I try to be like as polite as I can, you know?
Right.
And usually if I have beef, it's like before I even meet them. So then I just like quickly forget about it, you know? I always tell people, I can't tell you how many times I've like just responded to people, my name is Amy. When like in their second or third message, they're like, sweetie, or like babe. When they're supposed to be a professional photographer and I'm supposed to be a professional model, and I say like, what are your rates? And then they like respond and then just add like a babe or something. I'm just like, yo, my name is Amy.
That shit has never, ever, even once happened to me.
Yeah.
And you would never do that to a dude. You would never do it to anyone in a different profession.
Even to like your friend, I feel like you wouldn't even, you know, like
fuck that.
It's just stupid. So then after that, I'm just like, bye.
Definitely.
Blocked. And then they have the conversation about me on their podcast.
Probably, yeah.
How I blocked them. But they're in the wrong, so.
Oh, totally. But you know what? I feel like whoever tells the story first is the one who is seen as in the right. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, like...
Usually. Because whatever twist they put on it is the one you hear first and is the one that just stuck in your brain.
And that's what Charlamagne says. Charlamagne the God says no one cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining.
Yeah, totally.
And I want to speak a little bit about Charlamagne right now.
Go for it.
In 2017, it's still hard to think about being
it's so weird.
In 2017 summer, I appeared on The Brilliant Idiots.
Oh my God, that was such a highlight.
That was a big highlight.
Did you talk about that last episode?
I don't know if I did, but I should have.
It was so cool. They're so cool.
Yes. The way that went down... Well, first, let's dial back a little bit. I just want to give some context to what I'm going to talk about here. And this is none of my business, which is why the fuck I'm talking about it, okay? I watch a show on Complex called Everyday Struggle. It was starring academics. That's DJ Academics and Joe Budden. Joe Budden left recently, and there's some drama over that because everyone is downvoting the Complex videos because they didn't pretty much come through with what he asked for money-wise, and he felt that he was being jerked around.
I thought he was kicked off.
No. See, that's the narrative. Oh. But Joe Budden didn't agree to what they were going to pay him. They didn't agree to what he wanted. And Joe said that if he were to show up at work the day that he was expected, he'd be welcomed, but he would get the price that he didn't agree to.
Okay.
Right? So Joe didn't come, and they have other people doing a guest spot with academics now. Now, I love the show. I like academics content. I like Joe Budden's content. What I don't like to see, though, is that I saw academics on Twitch. That's where he streams and talks to his chat dudes. He was talking about things that Charlamagne said, and he framed it in a way... He never said these words, but all
Charlamagne never said them?
No. Academics never said this about Charlamagne, really. But he suggested and academics followers were saying that Charlamagne's a snake. Because Charlamagne was saying stuff like a corporation is never bigger than the creators, and that essentially if a corporation doesn't treat you right, leave. Well, and I agree with that. You know,
Yeah.
I no longer work for Zenescope because I felt that it wasn't the right place for me.
I was just going to say you live by that motto.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that...
And you've told me that several times, and I've quit a few jobs
absolutely
last year because of...
I stand by that. A corporation shouldn't change your life, shouldn't change the content you make. If they want to hire you as a creator, they should invest in you, not the opposite. Academics shouldn't change to be Complex, and I don't think he has. But I don't like the narrative that Charlamagne is a snake, because just my story about Charlamagne is I followed Charlamagne. I listened to Watch the Breakfast Club. I was a big fan and am a big fan, and I DM'd him once with an idea. He liked the idea, and Charlamagne has over 1 million followers on Twitter. He had no obligation or no real reason even to respond to my DM, but he did. And he responded to the strength of the idea, and he heard me out, and he invited me to meet with him. And when I walked in to meet with him, when...
Let me say, like, I went with you. We thought it was going to be in, like, an office-type setting, you and him, one-on-one, you telling him basically in person what you had direct messaged him about, right? So we're expecting that, like, oh, it's going to be cool for you to meet Charlamagne, like, blah, blah, blah. Then you go up.
Yeah, I go up, and I see that Charlamagne and Andrew Schultz are recording The Brilliant Idiots' favorite podcast ever. They're recording live, and they open the door, and all of a sudden, they're talking to me on air. They sit me down, and I'm on the podcast. And that is the moment I met Charlamagne. So in the span of a very short amount of time, I reached out, DM'd him, we conversed, he liked the idea, we connected, he invited me down, and then I was on the podcast.
Right.
And now we're talking about the idea,
Yeah.
right? So to say that Charlamagne is a snake, that's
he's-
crazy to me.
And he's like, to me, like from what I know about him and what I've heard him talking on the podcast and this and that, and I follow him on Twitter and stuff, he just seems like such a good like father and person, and he's not someone who has like, who would, you know, hurt others on purpose to make gains.
Right. He's an honest...
As the Hodge twins.
Right, yeah. Charlamagne comes off to me as a very honest and straightforward individual, right? I just had to say that because I felt that last year was a year of opportunity for me, a year of growth, and a big part of that was people giving me chances. And Charlamagne is one of the guys who gave me a chance for no reason. For no reason.
Yeah, he didn't know you before.
We had never spoken. I made some tweets to him. He tweeted back a few times, and that was it. Beyond the DM and my idea, there was nothing.
Yeah.
That is the least snake shit I can even fucking imagine.
Yeah.
That's what I want too. When I have my come up, I want to be sure that I'm still listening to everyone. You know, Charlamagne has over 1 million followers. So the fact that someone like Charlamagne could respond to me, I can't even hear someone call that man a snake.
It's so funny because we still like joke around when you get like a message from him or something.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, my homie Charlamagne.
Yeah.
And just like laugh about it.
And it's like, it was cool too. Like Schultz walked out with me. He met you. Premium Pete, who was on the show too. He was the guest there.
Yeah.
I was tweeting with him yesterday. He mentioned to tell you Happy New Year.
Oh, great.
He said Happy New Year to your beautiful wife.
Oh, that's me.
That is you.
Hey,
oh,
Neil.
Neil's here. Hey, Neil
I
just
wonder
came
if
up.
you could hear that jingle.
Probably can hear the jingle. So yeah, that's my story. I can't listen to someone call Charlamagne a snake, even though I'm a fan of academics. I like his content, like his platform. I'm not saying he said it, but as someone who was mentored by him, he was mentored by Charlamagne, right?
Right.
I would say that he should be the one saying, no, he isn't a snake, instead of letting people think that.
Yeah. Definitely Team Charlamagne.
Also, some backstory there. When you DM someone and you're trying to make some business happen, know that it could pop off at any moment, right? Because
Yeah. Oh my God. I know what you're about to say.
I sent Charlamagne a DM at 4 a.m. because I was about to go to bed. I had worked all night, and I was like, Charlamagne's probably getting up for the Breakfast Club. I'll pop him this DM, go to sleep. Send him the DM. As soon as I was turning my computer off, DM is back. Can you come down to the radio station now?
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, oh, man. Yeah, obviously, of course.
You're not going to say no.
No. Of course I got to say yes. So, yeah. No sleep.
Then he woke me up because I had been sleeping.
I was like, yeah, you trying to come with me?
Go?
And we went.
And I was like, yeah.
Yes. So again, none of this shit is my business in any way, shape, or form. But there are certain people I look up to, respect, have given me chances.
That are not snakes.
I cannot hear any slander. Like honestly, even guys like Ralph Tedesco. I mentioned Zenoscope today. You will never hear me talk shit about Ralph Tedesco in my fucking life.
He's
Never.
nice.
Ralph is the man. Ralph gave me a chance when I was pretty much no one as well. I had written 2-page story, right, when I hit up Zenoscope. And within the span of months, Ralph had me writing multiple titles. He is the one guy. Ralph Tedesco and Raven Gregory, you won't hear me talk shit. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. All right, and because it's just the two of us, we're going to get to some questions. And now, next time, I want to tell you all, this month we're going to have a cat-centric episode where Amy and I talk about how we got each cat, tell their stories, their beautiful stories, and we have comments and questions from our cat families and friends and listeners who are writing in to hear from us. But first, this week, some general questions. From Mario Candelaria, what were the best and worst breakups you've had? Let's get into this. Let's cut deep.
What is a best breakup?
I think a best breakup is one where it's just kind of
Like a mutual?
yeah, like amicable. You just like shake hands, leave, and then you write a fucking rainbow out of there because that shit doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, I don't even know if I have like a best breakup. I like suck because I'm so socially awkward that I never give people like the actual respect of giving them a real conversation. I always just text them and just dip. all my breakups are the same. I've never been broken up with. I've always broken up with someone.
Every time.
I guess I've been broken up. No, I haven't even been. No, because yep, that wasn't a breakup.
All right, so mine are all pretty much me for the most part. Mm-hmm. When I was in high school, those relationships were very quick and mostly ended with me being broken up with. Mm-hmm. Except one. I was dating someone who I'd say is now a friend.
Right.
I shouldn't say
At
her full
least
name.
on social networks.
Yeah.
You can bleep it out.
Yeah, I'll bleep out his name. But I was dating her, and I said yes when she asked me out, and I was not in a place that I wanted to be in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And I tried, mm-hmm. and then I was just an uninterested asshole. I couldn't bring myself to invest, so I stopped really hanging out. And then one day, it sounds like a fucking different life. I was trying out for a Screamo band. I got it, by the way.
Oh my God, yes.
I was the screamer for a
Nailed
while.
it.
But as I was waiting in front of the pizza place to be picked up by them, calls me and she says, "Pat, do you want to hang out?" And I said, "No."
Oh.
And she said, "Okay." Hung up. Call back 2 seconds later. "Hello? Pat, I'm breaking up with you." "Okay." And that was it. That was it.
I just remembered a time when I got broken up with once.
Oh, let's hear it.
I was in middle school, that's why. I had a little boyfriend. Then when summer came, the last day of school, he broke up with me. Just like a regular, like, I'm breaking up with you. I was like bummed. Went summer. Then came back to middle school after summer. It was between like 7th and 8th grade. And the reason that it was my quote-unquote worst breakup is because it's when I was broken up with. And 2, it's because I asked him when I got back to school why he broke up with me. And he literally told me that it was because he wanted to stay inside all summer and play video games.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Gotta love his honesty.
Yeah. You know.
That's amazing.
Yep.
My other breakups, I mean, I've had 2 bad ones, but in the end, it literally led me to you.
Yeah. The best breakup was the last one I had before you because it was right before you, probably.
And that seemed pretty peaceful.
Yeah.
And me saying that makes it seem as if I was involved in it. I was not involved in it.
You were just around because you worked with me.
Yeah, and Amy and I were very much just friends for a while.
And almost just like work friends for a little while. That was it. And then friends.
Next question on a more creative
fun.
side. That was real fun, yeah. Thanks, Mario. From Nikki So. Nikki has a Kickstarter going right now. By the time you guys hear this podcast, it'll have been done for 1 day, though. I wish that we got to this one last time so we could have promoted him a bit more. He is a comics creator. He has a book called Rock, Mary Rock. It is a good book. I don't lie. When a book is not good, I don't say it's good. Maybe I'll share the link, but I don't say it's good. His book is good. All right. Nikki says, was there any one particular comic where you felt like I can really write this series? Personally, me, all of them. Yeah. I mean, I have no brand. You know, my brand is I'll write anything to feed my family.
Yeah.
So
he's a working writer.
I could take on any challenge. I feel that I have written a diverse bit of series, right?
Yeah.
I mean, right now,
definitely from kids all the way to
like
mature.
Super mature, yeah. I am mature. Right now, I'm writing like hard R, intense horror. I'm writing erotica. I'm writing action adventure for teens. I'm writing all ages cartoon comics.
Yeah.
I'm kind of doing the whole shit, you know? I feel as if I've gotten to the point where if I weren't able to write anything, then what the fuck am I even doing, you know? But yeah, there are many comics, especially Buffy. I love the Buffy comic. Whenever I read that, I dream of one day writing that, or Angel one day writing that again.
Yeah. I don't read or write as many comics as Pat does, and I mostly am writing the creator-owned series that we have.
Yes.
But I do have an idea for a new story coming up, but I don't know if I should say it on here.
What is it?
About
Oh yeah, don't say it.
Yeah.
Don't say it. I'm probably gonna do that. All right, so we're not gonna share her idea because we're gonna actually probably do that idea. All right, so last question of this episode comes from Lysandra Gutierrez. As a writer, do you have more favorite artists or more favorite writers? Maybe artists, since you have to compete with other writers. And my answer is that I'm competing with no one. You know, my competition is myself.
Yeah.
My only judge of if my current shit is good is if it's better than my last shit, right? Like I don't look at other writers and think I should have had that job. I could have had that job. I think I'm going to get the next gig, right? I'm going to write until I get the next gig. I don't see myself as in competition with any other writers.
Right. And for me, artists is easier to see at first, definitely walking around the Comic-Cons and seeing all the artwork and the comics and whatnot. But it's when you find someone who you think like, man, this is my favorite writer. To me, that's so... I just love that. When
Right,
you
me
can
too.
read words that make you feel a certain way, that's great.
I definitely agree. I am very much... I read stories for the writing. And, of course, horrible art can ruin a well-written story. But the best art in the world can't save a worse-written story.
Right.
A poorly written story.
It has to be like a match or a team effort.
Yes, it has to be a match. Or I'd say even, personally, I look for better writing more than I do for excellent art. But for my own creations, I try to pick my absolute favorite artists to do my stories. Because I do agree, the best comics is a perfect collaboration between an artist and a writer who are 100% in sync. So while I do look mostly for writers and I do have probably a longer list of favorite writers, it's the collaboration there.
Yeah, that really is so sweet when that happens.
Though I will say too, there's nothing that gets me angrier when a poorly written comic has beautiful art. It gets me so fucking mad. Because it's not only that it wasted my time, as I'm reading, I think you wasted this amazing artist's time.
Yeah, definitely.
And I believe it's time to wrap up.
Yippee!
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. That was my second phase of my Happy New Year explosion.
Happy New Year!
I wish we had a shaker or something.
This has been the Space Between Podcast. You can follow us at Space Between Ent on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Maybe even Snapchat one day. Who knows? If you want to have your questions answered, you can hit us up there or email us at spacebetweenent@gmail.com. So again, thank you for listening. And bye, you guys.